recovered from the water not too long ago. Let's give you a closer look at the scene here. This is on 31st and Harbor, where you can see crews have been stationed out here for a few hours right now. Part of that area there has been closed off, and crews are focusing on that docking area there. A lot of police activity right now. 53-year-old Linda Brown was reported missing on January 3rd. Police say she was last seen in her Bronzeville neighborhood. Volunteers and family members spent all weekend canvassing the lakefront along 31st Street Beach in Burnham Park after surveillance footage showed Linda walking towards a pedestrian bridge over the expressway shortly before disappearing, which is not too far from where crews are right now. Linda was a special education teacher at Healy Elementary. She was, according to family, on a mental health leave prior to her disappearance. Again, certainly not the outcome we were hoping for. We are in close contact with Linda's family. Our thoughts and our prayers are, of course, with all of Linda's family and friends and everyone who knew her. We'll toss it back to you guys, and we'll have an update for you coming up tonight at 5.
All right, thanks for that. A 23-year-old woman was critically injured in a drive-by shooting. It happened near Rush University Medical Center just before 5:30 this morning. Police say she was sitting in a parked vehicle when a dark-colored sedan pulled up and someone inside began shooting.
More breaking news this afternoon. Minnesota just sued the federal government. They want to stop Trump's immigration crackdown.
This lawsuit says the federal government is really targeting Minnesota over politics, which it says is a violation of the First Amendment.
That was lawsuit just days after a deadly shooting. Renee Nicole Good, she was 37. An ICE agent shot her. DHS says the agent acted in self-defense. They're standing by that. Democrats say it's a cover-up.
Was this done to be anti-government and to try to change the behavior of ICE? And if the answer is yes, then sure, that's domestic terrorism.
The violence, the complete impunity with which these agents are operating, we need to make sure that these people are not masked. We need to make sure that there is real accountability in these, in all of these investigations.
There's now a push for a House Judiciary hearing. There's no set date for that yet. Meantime, DHS is sending more immigration officers out there. They say it's to protect their agents. In Illinois, the Attorney General is suing the Trump administration over its use of federal forces in the state. The lawsuit claims the use of ununiformed military trained personnel is, quote, causing turmoil and imposing a climate of fear.
Over the weekend, a manhunt for the suspect accused of killing an Ohio dentist and his wife has ended here in Illinois.
He was arrested in Rockford, appeared before a judge today. Casey Cronus is live at the courthouse with the latest on that hearing. Casey?
Sylvia and Terrence, that hearing was over almost as quickly as it began, lasting less than 2 minutes. Now the suspect will be moved by sheriff's officials back to Ohio, where he is facing murder charges.
Wearing a yellow Winnebago County jumpsuit and shackled, Michael David McKee appeared in a Rockford courtroom. Standing beside his public defender, he waived extradition to Ohio. The 39-year-old is charged with 2 counts of premeditated aggravated murder in the killings of his ex-wife, Monique, and her husband, Spencer Tepe, out of Columbus, Ohio. Spencer, who is a dentist, and Monique were found shot to death in their home on December 30th. Their 2 young children were there at the time, but weren't hurt. For days, police were without leads, but eventually traced a car that arrived in the area of the Tepe home before the homicides and left soon after, all the way back to Illinois, and connected it to McKee. McKee and Monique divorced in 2017. McKee lives in a condo building in Lincoln Park, but works as a surgeon at OSF St. Anthony Medical Center in Rockford. A spokesperson for the health system tells us OSF is cooperating with authorities who will provide any further information. Prosecutors haven't yet revealed a possible motive.
There is a status hearing scheduled in Rockford next Monday, but if McKee is transferred before then, it will be canceled and legal proceedings will pick up in Ohio. Reporting live in Rockford, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
Thank you, Casey. Let's take a live look outside on this Monday as the sun is setting on our beautiful city. Overall, a very nice day. Still chilly, but nowhere near as cold as it could be, right, Emily?
That's right. So today was another above average day, and it's going to get even warmer looking ahead to our day tomorrow. So we're actually tracking high temperatures early this week that are way above average. Your average high now sits right around the freezing mark. Today it's 32. Tomorrow it's going to drop to 31. But then tomorrow's high temperatures are forecast to be right around 50. It's going to be a really nice, almost spring-like day tomorrow. But then looking ahead to the rest of the week, that's when we are counting on a little bit of a more wintry-like change. So on Wednesday, we have falling temperatures in your forecast. By Thursday, we're expected to see highs right around 27 degrees or so. And then going into this upcoming weekend, it's going to get very chilly. We're talking highs in the 20s on Saturday, but teens expected for highs on Sunday for that Bears game. Temperatures currently sitting in the upper 30s to low 40s. Here's where we're headed over the next few hours. A lot of us are dropping down to the mid 30s, and then we're going to hold rather steady during the overnight. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
All right. Thank you, Emily. The city of Chicago is recovering after a dramatic win at Soldier Field on Saturday.
And they did it against the Packers, their rival. It makes it even sweeter. Tina Nguyen is here. What happens next?
Can I tell you guys, by the way, I love Victory Monday in the city of Chicago. They're moving on, Terrence, because they don't call it Wild Card Weekend for nothing. 6 total games, and so far, 4 of them were decided by 4 points or fewer, and each featuring a game-winning TD in the final 3 minutes. Add this on top of it, 12 lead changes in the fourth quarter alone, the most in NFL playoff history. You know what? We call that absolute chaos, and it included the Packers and Bears showdown on Saturday night. The Bears erased an 18-point deficit to pull off the largest postseason comeback win in franchise history. It was also their 7th fourth-quarter comeback win this season, the most ever in a single NFL season. And then there's Caleb Williams. This might be a hot take, but maybe not when you consider the history here, okay? Williams just put together one of the best quarterback performances this franchise has ever seen. He set the Bears' single-game playoff passing record with 361 yards, and he became the first Chicago QB since Jim Harbaugh back in 1991 to beat the Packers in back-to-back games. Head coach Ben Johnson said it best afterwards. It came down to one thing.
This is a rivalry, and city of Chicago, Green Bay, it needs to be a rivalry. You know, first playoff game at home in a while, and, you know, we hadn't won a playoff game in 15 years or so. But certainly the opponent in and of itself, it means a lot to the city, this organization. And that's something that we certainly play into a little bit as coaches and players. Is we know how big it is when Chicago plays Green Bay. There's a rivalry that exists between these two teams, something that I fully recognize and I'm a part of. And yeah, I mean, I don't like that team. So George and I have talked, and we're on the same page.
I love it. He knows how much this rivalry means to the city of Chicago. Also, I can't get enough of Caleb Williams just grating cheese there on live TV on Saturday. All right, coming up at 5, we'll hear more from Ben Johnson as Cassie Carlson has the latest from Hallis Hall, and we will preview the Bears and Rams game in the divisional round. Terrence and Sylvia.
All right.
If you were there, maybe you felt it. Some reported the game was so loud, Soldier Field was shaking.
Yeah, Brett Bugansky is live outside Soldier Field. And Brett, we understand that you found out this is a real thing, huh?
It absolutely is. There's those rare occasions where it is so loud from the fans. The cheering, the stomping, even the music inside Soldier Field, where you can see the stadium visibly shaking. Let's go back to Saturday night. Al Michaels talked about this, about how he's done 31 different games here at Soldier Field. Never has he ever experienced shaking inside Soldier Field. We had Courtney Cronin on Chicago Sports Tonight, who said she could feel the press box shaking. Our very own Cassie Carlson said this is the best Soldier Field crowd she has ever experienced in her 4 years covering the Chicago Bears. But I spoke with Kevin Butler, not the former Bears kicker, engineer with Henderson Engineers, that Kevin Butler. So he helps design professional sports facilities, and his specialty is acoustics. So many teams will ask them to design something where loudness is a factor to try to give them that home field advantage. So he told me there's really science behind why some stadiums are louder than others, how tall the facility is, how close the fans are to the action, and where the speakers are in the stadium, and of course, how many people are inside the stadium. And sometimes the fans can indeed impact the game.
Sound is a pressure wave which can cause materials to vibrate. So when you get 60,000 plus fans yelling, cheering, stomping, jumping around, that can add a lot of energy into the stadium and into the structure and cause vibration and feel that sensation.
We don't have to worry about any safety concerns inside Soldier Field. These stadiums, he told me, are designed to deal with the impact here. But sometimes it gets so loud, they can cause seismic activity. So I checked with the USGS. They didn't have any reported seismic activity during the Saturday night game, but that has happened before. 2011 in January, Marshawn Lynch, the Beastquake game, that recorded a 2.0 on the Richter scale. And then in that very same venue in 2023, Taylor Swift and her fans made so much noise, they ended up breaking that record with a 2.3. So no seismic activity outside of Soldier Field, but perhaps next Sunday will be a different story. We're live outside Soldier Field tonight. Brett Pagansky, Fox Chicago.
And while the Bears focus on the next opponent, they're also planning for the next era ahead at 4:30. What happened at two potential stadium sites before Saturday's game? Paris Schutz takes us into the huddle.
A scammer stole thousands of dollars from a veteran. The bank admits that account was compromised. So why won't they return his money?
There's talk about credit card entrance fees. Americans might catch a break. The president's got a new proposal, but some financial institutions are pushing back against it.
Another last-second win for the Bears, as we've been telling you, and as if you didn't know what all the adrenaline is doing to our heart. Just ahead.
Who's the celebrity behind the match?
Well, a lot of Bears fans are joking this team is taking years off their life after all these last-minute wins.
Yeah, they are. So let's bring Dr. Arjun Mehta to help us separate what feels scary from what's actually dangerous. Doctor, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is a lot. Everybody's saying these fourth quarter wins are just killing us. People are saying, oh my gosh, my heart dropped, or my heart was in my throat in the fourth quarter. What's actually going on with our bodies when we are in this excited state during these games?
Yeah, well, obviously it's stressful. I experienced that firsthand this Saturday. But the adrenaline level, the fight or flight kind of response is meant, historically to sort of get us out of dangerous situations. And it can have negative effects on the body, especially if you have cardiac conditions, pre-existing cardiac conditions. But also for everybody else out there, gets the heart rate up, obviously makes you feel stressed out and excited. Yeah.
Dr. Mask, you say you were there. Is there a difference heart-wise between the stress of a close game when you're watching on your couch versus being in the stadium surrounded by thousands of screaming people?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was quite a cold, frigid Chicago day right off the lake there. So sometimes that can definitely affect people who have prior cardiac conditions as well. The cold weather, the blood vessels tend to constrict during that time. But also, I felt that shaking in the stadium that you guys were just talking about, and it gets you definitely more excited, I think, to be amongst many screaming fans in a shaking stadium.
We're having fun with this because, everybody's so excited that the Bears have just shocked everyone, and I think in a lot of cases, including themselves. But, for people with smartwatches who maybe are paying attention to their heart rates all the time, and then maybe they're seeing a spike as a result of this incredible season that we're having. And if you're keeping an eye on these things, you might notice a bit of a difference. Is this good for people to kind of just monitor, especially those who might think that they're at higher risk?
I think it's reasonable. I mean, most of the time, the elevated heart rate is going to be normal and part of our natural physiology, meaning that it's just a normal response to being excited, or with the Bears and 7 comeback wins, being a little stressed out. And most of the time, that's not going to cause any long-term negative effects, but particularly for people with prior cardiac conditions like coronary artery disease and heart failure or atrial fibrillation, yes, I think monitoring your heart rate is useful.
All right, so if you could give diehard Bears fans one realistic game day rule to protect their heart, I'm not quitting the team, just surviving the fourth quarter apparently, what would it be?
I would say, again, if you are somebody who that you have one of the cardiac conditions that I mentioned before, coronary artery disease, heart failure, or an arrhythmia, be hypervigilant. We know that not just the stress of the game, but overindulgence in alcohol can lead to negative effects for people with prior cardiac conditions. But enjoy, and also afterwards, maybe take a few deep breaths the way the Bears are going this year.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to give that advice back to you to take a few deep breaths, especially if you plan on going to that game on Saturday. Thanks for joining us. Go Bears, bear down, right?
Go Bears.
Thank you, Doctor.
All right, let's check in with Emily now. I know a lot of people have their eyes on Sunday for the next game. Emily, is it too early to tell what the temperatures and the conditions going to be like?
It's not too early to talk about what we think is going to be taking place here. And what I can say is that, maybe we're going to have a little bit of an advantage because the Bears, we're used to the cold, right? We're used to that here in Chicago, and it is going to be cold on Sunday. And maybe the LA team there isn't going to be so used to the cold temperatures. We're talking high temperatures that are only going to be in the upper teens to near 20 degrees next Sunday. Wind chill temperatures very easily going to be holding near 0. So it's going to be a very, very cold game next Sunday. Your temperatures right now, though, not so bad. A lot of us are sitting in the upper 30s to low 40s. Here's where we're headed throughout the evening. You'll notice that temps are going to take a little bit of a dip here. So I think by about 10 p.m. or so, a lot of us are going to be in the mid-30s by this point, but then we're going to hold rather steady throughout the remainder of the overnight. So then by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, a lot of us are waking up in the mid to upper 30s. There's a very small chance that we could be seeing a stray sprinkle in the morning. Most areas end up staying dry. And then take a look at temperatures going into the afternoon. So tomorrow afternoon, we're counting on highs that are going to be right around 50 degrees, increasing cloud cover then going into the evening. And then looking ahead to the rest of the week, that's going to bring on some much more winter-like changes. So we have lake effect snow in your forecast for Wednesday night into Thursday, and then a couple additional systems that are going to be swinging through. So your 5-day forecast, 50 degrees tomorrow, partly cloudy skies during the afternoon, 38 on Wednesday, falling temps going into the afternoon, lake effect snow Wednesday night into Thursday, mainly impacting northwest Indiana. And then we're going to have a dusting of snow being possible on Friday and then again on Saturday. Back to you.
Right, thank you, Emily. Still to come, the Justice Department opens a criminal investigation into the Federal Reserve Chair.
Why Fed Chair Jerome Powell says it's politically based, and a look at the impact this is all having on Wall Street.
The future of a more than 100-year-old building in the southwest suburbs could be determined tonight. A look at the possibilities for Jackson Square Mall.
Saturday's Bears game was wild, but the real action happened before kickoff. What Roger Goodell saw that day. Next.
We do the job.
Stocks kicked off the new trading week higher with the Dow and S&P 500 notching new record closes. This was after some losses after the Fed chair revealed the Justice Department served the central bank with grand jury subpoenas.
The chair of the Federal Reserve is now under investigation for potentially misleading Congress over the central bank's headquarters multi-billion-dollar renovation project.
Jerome Powell says this is payback. Trump wanted him to drop interest rates. He did not, and now this investigation shows up. Here's Rebecca Castor.
We're just taking a look at what's happening, and it's a tough construction job.
After President Trump toured the Federal Reserve headquarters construction site this summer, its chairman has now been subpoenaed by the Department of Justice over the renovation project's budget overruns. Costs have soared from around $1.9 billion to $2.5 billion. But Jerome Powell isn't buying that's the real reason behind this investigation.
The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president.
The central bank cut rates 3 times in 2025, but President Trump thinks the board waited too long and is pressing for further cuts this year, though he's denied knowing anything about this DOJ investigation. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say it's crucial the Fed stays independent.
We want our Federal Reserve to be making rate decisions based on the information and the facts in front of them, not just as a result of direct political pressure. But I don't think that means that a Federal Reserve chairman should not be subject to criticism or critiques.
Other Republican lawmakers have taken it a step further. North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis says he plans to block any of President Trump's new Fed chair nominees until this legal matter is resolved. Jerome Powell's term as Fed chairman ends in May, and the president plans to announce his replacement by the end of this month. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox Chicago.
There is a noticeable change at the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. References to President Trump's 2 impeachments were removed from his display in the American President's exhibit. His portraits now appear without the usual wall text seen for other presidents. The White House has not said whether it requested that change, but it comes as the administration pushes museums to review exhibits ahead of the nation's 250th anniversary.
Instagram just got breached big time. Malwarebytes says 17.5 million people had their info exposed, usernames, home addresses, phone numbers, emails, everything. Now here's where it gets weird. People started getting emails about resetting passwords, but Instagram said on X to ignore them because those are phishing scams. But security experts say you should still change your password, not because of those fake emails, but because your info's out there now, so change it. And they also recommend turning on 2-factor authentication. That means they send a code to your phone every time someone tries to log in. Up next, a warning for anyone using Cash App.
Now, how thieves are testing your account before they drain it.
Well, scammers tested a veteran's account with a $1 charge when they took everything, thousands of dollars gone. Cash App admits the account was hacked, so why won't the bank he's trusted for 35 years give him his money back? I'll break it all down, coming your way next.
If you want total health care from a provider you trust,
hi, Blair. Hi.
Right in the palm of your hand, if you want soup, sweatpants, and 0 in-person contact. If you want wellness wherever, our virtual primary care delivers with great website manner.
No worries.
So choose your doctor from our profiles and enjoy the healthiest online relationship you've ever had. House calls have evolved. Advocate Healthcare.
Now at 4:30, a landmark or an eyesore, the critical vote that could determine the fate of Jackson Square Mall.
Scammers drained a veteran's account, what his bank told him when he asked for his money.
The Bears are chasing a new stadium. What happened Saturday before kickoff that changes the conversation?
First, let's take a live look outside and get another check of your forecasts. Look at the peoples out there. About to say a lot of people, not that many, but
usually more, right?
I don't know if it's just me, but I'm seeing a lot of people in blue and orange.
Yeah.
Or am I just imagining that?
I
can't see that far. Your eyes are like a hawk.
Yeah. I saw so many people, even this morning, though, out and about, just repping. They're ready. Yeah.
That's right.
I think the whole city's ready for it.
Period.
The whole area's ready for it.
Very exciting.
Yes, and we're, of course, keeping a very close eye on the forecast because it's looking like winter's going to be making a return here over the next couple of days, and that's going to linger right on into this upcoming weekend. In fact, Sunday's game is looking very, very cold. We're counting on high temperatures on Sunday that are only going to be in the upper teens to near 20 degrees. And it could be coming along with a couple snow flurries as well. But before we can even get there, we have several opportunities for some showers. Showers possible tomorrow, but most areas end up staying dry. And then after that, it's all snow shower chances going into the second half of the week. Today, we had temperatures in the 40s. Tonight, we're only dropping down into the mid-30s for a lot of us. So it's going to stay fairly comfortable going throughout the overnight. Your 3-day forecast tomorrow, 50. We're going to see our skies becoming partly cloudy during the afternoon. Then on Wednesday into Thursday, we have a lake effect that is likely going to be impacting northwest Indiana. Back to you.
All right, we're still on top of this breaking story. A CPS teacher who had been missing for more than a week has been found dead. That's according to her family. Police found her body in Lake Michigan a few hours ago. Leslie will share more details about this story ahead on the news at 5. Marnie Yang was back in court today.
She is the woman convicted of killing the pregnant girlfriend of former Super Bowl Bear Sean Gale. Yang was convicted in 2011 and has been serving a double life sentence for killing Ronnie Reuter, who was 8 months pregnant. In today's hearing, her defense is arguing and presenting new DNA evidence they say proves her innocence, proves the murderer was a man, and questions Sean Gale's timeline. The judge is expected to rule on a possible new trial at a later date.
2 Chicago police officers are on desk duty right now after one fired a gun during a traffic stop overnight. This was in Austin. CPD says the officer saw a gun on the driver's lap during some kind of encounter with the man. The officer fired. No one was injured by the gunfire, but the driver did get treated for minor injuries from broken glass.
The FBI is investigating after a Brinks truck was robbed this morning outside of a Calumet City Chase Bank. At this time, investigators have not said if anything was taken, but confirmed that there were no injuries. Well, a lot of us use cash apps, right? A Chicago area veteran does as well, I should say. And then thousands of dollars disappeared from his account.
It's been almost 2 months. He still hasn't gotten his money back. Tia Ewing looked into why he's still waiting.
10 different commands. That's basically 10 different jobs. 2 tours in Italy, 3 tours in Japan, South Carolina.
Wow. Romir Ellis served 30 years in the United States Navy, a career built on discipline, security, and trust.
So you expect to be treated with some respect as a veteran?
Just a little bit.
Something.
A 100% disabled veteran, Ellis last served as an information systems technician, master chief petty officer, senior enlisted advisor at the Hopper Information Services Center. Cybersecurity wasn't just his job, it was his mission.
I was 18, 19 years old for Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and I deployed in 2007 to Afghanistan. So 2 wars and multiple conflicts and deployments.
But on November 19th of 2025, someone else decided to test the waters, this time digitally. Ellis says a scammer accessed his Cash App, logging in online. They dipped a toe in the water first. They sent $1 to themselves, then another. By the time Ellis woke up, the breach had already spread.
So I immediately logged into my Navy Federal account and saw where there was 5 transactions from via Cash App in amount of $5,902 that I did not make. But they did catch the $1,500, but I received no fraud alert for the other transactions.
$5,902 routed straight out of his Navy Federal Credit Union account and into someone else's hands. And after taking thousands, they came back for more.
They were sending out requests asking for money. So I got a buddy.
So they pulled money from the Cash App.
Yes, and then they was reaching out to my friends because they had access to all my friends in Cash App. They had sense enough to say, Both of them, one female and one male, was like, man, bro ain't asking me for no $400.
Cash App later acknowledged what Ellis already knew. In December of 2025, they issued a statement saying that Ellis's account was compromised. He says he forwarded that information to Navy Federal expecting backup, but instead he got this, a letter on December 22nd. After a second review, Navy Federal says no error occurred and Ellis is responsible for the full amount. The husband of 3 kids says this wasn't his first issue.
I mean, I've been with Navy Federal 35 years.
But it is by far, he says, the most disappointing.
So I'm a little disgusted to be a member this long and them just to easily discount and say that they thoroughly conducted an investigation.
Now, Navy Federal Credit Union told me they can't disclose information about his specific account, but did say this, quote, "We take the privacy and security of our members' financial information extremely seriously," adding that it provides security tools like two-factor authentication, code words, and transaction alerts to help members protect their accounts. Of course, I did reach out to Ellis to see if he's heard from his credit union. Right now, he's still waiting. Terrence?
All right, Tia, thank you. A federal judge just blocked the Trump administration from cutting child care funding. 5 states sued last week, including Illinois. The whole thing started because DHS accused these states of committing fraud with social services money. Illinois alone was about to lose $1 billion across 3 programs, but the judge stepped in and stopped it. Tonight in LaGrange, trustees are voting on whether to tear down Jackson Square. Neighbors say it could change downtown for good. The meeting starts at 7:30 at Village Hall. Here's the plan: demolish the historic Jackson Square Mall, put up condos. More than 70 local businesses are in there right now. Now, mind you, opponents say the plan goes against the village's own rules. Nearly 1,900 people signed a petition. Some of those people are expected to show up tonight. We'll let you know what the trustees decide. Well, the Bears fight for yards on the field. Off the field, they're fighting for acres.
That's right, and there was some action off the field on Saturday on the quest for a new stadium, and it's having a ripple effect today. Political reporter Paris Schutz has more on this. What's happening?
Sylvia and Terrence, a lot of intrigue off the field as well as on the field right now. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell came to Chicago to take in Saturday's unbelievable victory, but it was after a tour he took with Bears brass before the game that is drawing attention, and one fan caught it on camera.
Look closely. This is a picture of Bears chairman George McCaskey, President Kevin Warren, and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell just hours before the game Saturday, standing on the Arlington Heights Stadium site. The meeting was caught by Greg Berger, who was dropping his son off at the metro station, ironically, to go to the Bears game at Soldier Field.
I'm like, whoa, that's George McCaskey. That's crazy. Then I spot Kevin Warren, and he's got the orange tie, and I'm like, that's Kevin Warren. He's always sporting the orange tie. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, my jaw totally dropped when I saw Roger Goodell. That's when I was like, what is even happening right now? This is bizarre.
Sources close to the stadium negotiations tell me Goodell also toured sites in Northwest Indiana. Lawmakers there are working on a potential tax deal to lure the team across the state line. 3 weeks ago, the Times of Northwest Indiana caught representatives of the Bears conducting site testing on the plot of land in Hammond. Sports stadium consultant Mark Gannis says he expects Indiana to roll out the red carpet.
I think what we're going to see coming from Indiana is going to be so significant in terms of public money going into the stadium.
And sources close to the Bears say they're looking to Indiana Republican Governor Mike Braun, who gives his State of the State address on Wednesday, to see if he mentions anything about a potential stadium. Braun has been publicly supportive of efforts to this point. The Bears have been stalled on legislation in the Illinois State House. The Bears have been stalled on Illinois legislation that they're seeking. It would give them the ability to negotiate future property tax rates with Arlington Heights, something they say they need before they can attract investors to build the stadium. They're also looking for state money to help with infrastructure, but vow to build the entire structure on their own.
This deal that's being offered in Arlington Heights is really very one-sided for the benefit of the taxpayers, and very one-sided as compared to, say, the Chiefs in Kansas, the Cleveland Browns in suburban Cleveland.
And more news off the field today. Some season ticket holders are receiving surveys about potential new seating charts for a new stadium. And those surveys also list potential prices for seats and PSLs. Some of those numbers quite eye-popping. Terrence?
All right, Paris, thank you. President Trump's going after credit card interest rates. He wants companies to cap them.
But analysts are warning there could be trade-offs. Coming up, we are taking a look at what's at stake.
Valentine's reservations are open at White Castle. What the transformation will look like this year.
And the Barbie collection is expanding. Still to come, a look at what makes the newest doll so special.
The Menards Bag Sale.
Get Covered Illinois is extending its open enrollment period to January 31st. The deadline to apply for health insurance through the state's marketplace was set to end next week. Right now, enrollment is down about 4% after the expiration of enhanced tax subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. The expiration has led monthly premiums in Illinois to jump about 78%.
Credit card companies just took a hit. Their shares dropped hard because President Trump proposed capping credit card rates at 10%. A temporary cap, but still a big deal.
So what does this mean for consumers? And does the president have the authority? Kelly Saberi has answers.
The move is President Trump's next step in tackling affordability, saying credit card companies are taking advantage of people.
I have no idea that they're paying 30%. No way. We're putting a one-year cap at 10%, and that's it. They know it. They've really abused the public. The credit card companies have totally abused it. I'm not going to let it happen.
This proposed 10% cap will save Americans about $100 billion a year in interest costs, according to a Vanderbilt University study. Banks, however, counter that rates need to be high, with no house or car, for example, to repossess. The move could put major issuers like JP Chase, Capital One, and Citigroup under pressure. Analysts anticipate banks may simply drop riskier borrowers altogether, meaning millions could lose access to credit. Other possible effects: higher card fees, less card perks like your point systems and your travel benefits, and your card usage may affect your credit score even more. Analysts also believe that larger credit card companies like Capital One and American Express will still be able to turn a profit with these caps, but providers of store cards could struggle. The president is calling for rates to drop by January 20th. That's not too far away. It is unclear whether the president plans to take this to Congress or use an executive action. Kelly Saberi, Fox Chicago.
Barbie's newest release is sending a powerful message of acceptance. Mattel releasing the first ever autistic doll to spread light on individuals who have been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Specific design choices include flexible elbows and joints in the hand to mimic stimming, which is repetitive body movement that some with autism experience. Accessories include noise-canceling headphones, loose-fitting clothing, and a tablet with alternative communication apps.
Look, if you haven't locked down Valentine's Day yet, you might want to handle that. And White Castle's doing their thing again this year. They're taking reservations right now for Valentine's Day dinner. They've been doing this for 35 years to turn the entire place into what they call love castles. So for one night, they go all out. You get a hostess, you get someone serving you at your table. Valentine's decorations everywhere, the whole deal. You can book it on Open Table. Just find a location near you that's doing it.
Obviously a huge hit. They sell out all the time. Coming up, a season filled with last-minute comebacks. Some would say the Chicago Bears have divine intervention.
Hey, man, won't he do it? The Pope, the Bears, the jersey. The playoff excitement continues with a look at the holiest of all Bears gear.
All right, and Emily is going to be back with a roller coaster forecast. But first, how's that looking to you? Here's a look at your trip home.
Jesus, take the wheel.
The viewer in the morning really.
Right now, Chicago's riding high on two things. The Bears made the playoffs, and people are still hyped about the Pope being from the South Side.
Yeah, now you can show your love for both. And the money goes to something that matters. Catholic Imprint has launched the new Pope Leo football fan jersey. The jersey is designed and hand-stitched right here in Chicago, with a portion of the proceeds benefiting local charities, parishes, and schools, especially those serving for vulnerable families. Catholic Imprint says Bears fans are feeling especially blessed with their performance this year, so they wanted to create something joyful and meaningful that honors Pope Leo's legacy while supporting the community that shaped him. How about that?
Very cool.
You think the Pope gave his blessing for that?
Probably.
Yeah,
I know he
right?
was watching. I'm sure he was watching.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can you imagine watching the game with the Pope?
Right.
How cool
That would be cool.
I mean, is it really that coincidental that the Bears are doing so good?
Right? Yeah.
Emily, will we be saying prayers because of the forecast, or saying thank you to Jesus?
You know, I think we can think of it two ways. Fans are going to be cold on Sunday. It is going to be a very cold day. We're counting on high temperatures that are going to struggle to even reach 20. I think more likely going to be stuck in the teens. So yes, cold. Once you factor in the wind, we're looking at, I think, wind chill temperatures for the Bears game, whether it's the early slot, the later slot, I think they're still going to be pretty close to 0. Now, Bears and Chicagoans are used to that. You know who's not used to it? LA people. Yes. So maybe, maybe it'll play in our favor. Something to look out for. All right, your high temperatures today, we ended up topping out in the lower 40s, and typically for this time of the year, the average high is right around the freezing mark. So many of us were running about 10 degrees above average. Your temperatures currently are sitting in the upper 30s to low 40s. So we're still very mild out there, but it is a little gusty at times. So we've got kind of a strong wind out of the southwest. That's going to continue through tonight and then into our day tomorrow as well. In fact, tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing winds gusting as high as close to 40 miles per hour. But with that said, it's going to be really mild tomorrow. So those west-southwesterly winds are going to be bringing in a warmer air mass out ahead of our next storm system that's going to move through, bringing a big cool down for us by Wednesday into Thursday. So tomorrow, we're counting on highs right around 50. We're going to be in the upper 30s for your highs on Wednesday, and I think that temperature is likely going to be in the morning before we drop into the low 30s during the day. And then on Thursday, your highs are only expected to be in the 20s. We're likely going to see a lake effect event unfolding for northwest Indiana. Exactly the placement of that band is still yet to be determined. So make sure if you have plans to be traveling, if you live in northwest Indiana, Porter, LaPorte County areas, I think we're going to have to watch this very closely Wednesday night into Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday, we're still kind of locked into winter mode. We're counting on temperatures that are going to be in the 20s and 30s. And then looking beyond that, it's going to get even colder going into early next week. So this is your temperature outlook from the 18th through the 22nd, which happens to be Sunday through Thursday of next week. And our area is strongly favored to see below average conditions. So the first half of this month so far has really been on the milder side, but I think we're going to start to see things changing up, especially beginning later this week and then likely lasting into next week too. Futurecast taking us into early tomorrow morning. We're going to see things clouding over early in the morning, especially across the Northeast, but then throughout the day, I think a lot of us are actually going to be enjoying partly cloudy skies before increasing cloud cover again Tuesday night and then into Wednesday, because we have that cold front coming through. Temperatures are going to begin to drop. We'll have those wind-whipped snow showers and then lake effect setting up Wednesday night and into Thursday. So that's the time frame that we're really going to have to watch. For tonight, 34, way above average for this time of the year. Your average low is in the upper teens. 7-day forecast near 50 degrees tomorrow. Skies are going to become partly cloudy. Then we have lake effect possible Wednesday night into Thursday. Friday and Saturday, we still have a couple systems that are going to be coming through. And then for the Bears game on Sunday, we are planning on highs that are only in the teens. We'll be right back.
Fox 32 News.
here's a fun little fact for you. Apparently, chewing gum could help dial down the stress. This isn't surprising, right? According to a new study, it can help you when it comes to mildly stressful tasks, such as public speaking. The study also found that chewing gum helps with concentration when we're doing fairly boring tasks that take a long time to finish.
But it distracts other people around you, though.
If you're chewing like
some people, they do chew like chewing tobacco.
Yeah, and you can't do it while you're public speaking.
Oh, no, because what if it flies out?
Maybe you chew it before you publicly.
Kind of get the nerves out?
Yeah.
Well, if you're planning a hotel stay and want some peace and quiet, experts say your room number can make a huge difference.
I did not know this. Apparently, travel specialists advise against getting a room that ends in a 1 or 2.
Por qué?
Yeah.
Why, you say? That's because these are often close to elevators, stairs, or housekeeping areas, which are common sources of noise. Calling ahead to request a room in a quieter part of the floor can help, and rooms on higher levels tend to be less impacted by lobby and street activity. Now, experts say arriving early and asking to see your room before settling in can also give you a better shot at a more peaceful stay. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
And then I'll just run down the hallway and be like, hey, any kids on this floor?
Right.
Anyone under 10?
They'll be like, yeah, I don't want the room where he's at.
Right.
Are you really going to take the time to ask to see your room?
No, nobody's doing that.
If you're tired, and you know what I mean? Do you do that?
No, I just said I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
might do it now.
Why not?
Yeah. Usually by the time I get to the hotel, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, nobody's got time.
Yeah.
Make time.
That's because you're
you may regret it later.
You're much more fun than I am, Mr. T. A reporter is going viral after sharing a touching moment with Jaguars head coach Liam Cohn.
Yes, his team fell short in the wild card round against the Bills. Take a listen.
How you doing today? Lynn Jones, Jacksonville Free Press News. I just want to tell you congratulations on your success, young man.
Thank you.
You hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season.
Thank you.
And you did a great job out there today.
Appreciate
so you just hold your head up, okay?
Sounds like some advice a mom would give.
Like an auntie,
That was awesome. That was Lynn Jones of the Jacksonville Free Press. Some are split on what happened, saying Jones sounded more like a fan than a reporter. I don't think so, but others supported her message, including the Jaguars. That's who counts, right? Who also shared the clip with fans.
If she sounded more like a fan than a reporter, so what?
I mean, if you're in that
honestly,
city.
God might have put that on her heart to tell him. She may have felt something coming off of him, and you know.
And if you're in that city, aren't you also kind of a fan? I mean, it wasn't like it was in poor taste.
No,
it wasn't.
Yeah, like they say, let him use you. Let the Lord use you.
Well, spring is still a ways off, but today is all about cleaning. Specifically, it's National Clean. Y'all really did this, huh? Your desk day. It better not be a picture of my desk.
Wait a minute, though. It's National Clean Your Desk Day. This doesn't say anything about clean under your desk day.
My desk on top is.
It's under the desk. I just want to tell everybody, if you need shoes,
come to my desk.
Yeah, go to her desk underneath. So apparently this day is celebrated on the second Monday of January. She was worried we took pictures.
I definitely am worried still.
To encourage fresh starts for the new year.
Let's see, they saved you. They spared you. There are a lot of benefits to getting your workspace in order. This makes sense. It boosts your focus, your productivity. It eases the stress. And then there's the germs of it all. Studies show your work desk is nearly 400 times dirtier.
Ew.
Than the average toilet seat. What?
I do use wipes on my desk.
So don't forget to use wipes. That's more than wipes. I need wipes, Lysol, bleach.
Yeah, all the things.
Wipe it down. Wipe me
That's crazy.
down.
Wipe me down.
Wipe me down.
Well, last year we shared what our desk looked like. So let's recap. On the left, you see our desk a year ago. Wait, who's who?
I don't know.
I can't tell either. My desk is not on there.
Is that your desk?
And on the right is what it looked like before we came into the office today.
That's mine.
The first desk is Sylvia.
Oh, it was mine. Okay.
Yeah.
That's mine.
The
I see
next
the
desk,
trophy.
Terrence. That's mine right there.
Yeah, that's yours. Now look under it, everyone.
That's mine.
You see
so
it?
underneath isn't clean, but at least on top, I got that in order for 2026.
You just did that last week. I was really proud of you.
Yeah, so now I got to work on the bottom. That's all.
Was it a few months ago?
Sylvia's again.
You were cleaning your desk, and so I had this jewel bag, right? And I said, you want this bag? It's a plastic bag. She goes, yeah, I'll take that. I'm going to get rid of these shoes. And she threw all her shoes
I did, in bags. And it's underneath my desk still, because you never know when you'll need it.
I'm just sad we don't wear the same size to you.
You have a
Because then I could borrow, you know.
I'm leaving that stuff there. I don't care what anybody says. This world is crazy. We might get stuck here one day.
And the girl will have her shoes, and you will have your shoes.
That's where my mind is.
All right.
Toothpaste, shoes, food, I got it.